Hello, soul family. Welcome to Spiritual Manifestation. If this is your first time here, welcome in. And if you've been here before, I'm so glad to have you home. Before we dive into today's reading, I just want to gently tune us into the energy. There's a message that's been coming through so clearly. It's a love message straight from your person's heart space. And it feels like Spirit is asking us to really slow down and listen today. We're going to be pulling from the tarot to uncover how your person is currently feeling, how they're seeing you, and what they've been holding back when it comes to your connection. If you've been feeling the pull to check in on their energy, trust that this reading is for you. So let's go ahead and open the space, call in truth and clarity, and receive a direct message from their soul to yours. The first card I just pulled is the Hierophant. And the moment I pulled this card, I felt it. I felt that spiritual weight in my chest. The kind that only shows up when something sacred is happening behind the scenes. This isn't just about thoughts or feelings anymore. This is about confirmation, divine confirmation. That moment when Spirit makes it crystal clear. This connection is not a coincidence. Your divine masculine has been sitting in silence, and I mean real silence, not the kind where they're scrolling on their phone or distracting themselves with busy work. I'm talking about soul silence, that deep hermit mode energy where Spirit finally has their full attention. And in this stillness, they've been hearing things they weren't able to hear before. Clear, loud messages, signs they can't ignore anymore. And what they keep hearing, what keeps being repeated to them, is you, your name, your face, your presence, the feeling you left behind. All of it is being placed right in front of them, not by memory, not by fantasy, but by something much bigger. They've had connections before. They've been in love before. What's so clear in this energy is that your masculine is starting to realize, out of everyone they've ever encountered, your energy is the only one that lingers in their soul. It's the only one they can't escape, and it's the only one that seems to come back stronger the more they try to forget. And this is what's making them pause. Not just to question what they feel about you, but to question everything. Every past relationship. Every time they chose someone else. Every time they ignored the pull. It's all being reevaluated now. And here's where it gets even deeper. They're starting to see their own patterns, their role, the ways they've sabotaged, the times they let distractions speak louder than their intuition. Because now that they're outside of the chaos, now that they're truly alone with their thoughts, they're seeing the truth. And that truth is making them ask the question, why her? Why is it always her? And the answer they're getting over and over again, because I sent her. This moment is a full circle awakening, a spiritual checkpoint, a divine alignment where all the signs, dreams, synchronicities, and feelings are finally lining up in one big message. And they're finally seeing it, not just with their eyes, but with their spirit. This isn't something they would have figured out surrounded by distractions. That's why this hermit mode was necessary. That's why Spirit had to clear their path just to get them here. And it's not just spiritual clarity that's unfolding, it's emotional surrender. This masculine is feeling things he never let himself feel before, emotions he buried, questions he avoided. And now, there's no more running from it. Spirit isn't just speaking to him about you. Spirit is inviting him to finally open his heart to you. It's making him think about the ways he's guarded himself, the times he chose logic over love, and how much of his life has been lived in fear of what this connection could awaken in him. But now that he's being shown the truth so clearly, he's starting to understand that loving you is not a threat to his freedom. It's actually the path to his purpose. And here's what's beautiful. This moment was divinely timed. This hermit mode didn't happen too late, and it didn't come too soon. It came exactly when it was supposed to, because this masculine had to be ready to hear it. He had to be willing to receive what Spirit was trying to say. And now that he's in this space, he's not just realizing who you are to him, he's realizing who he is when he's connected to your energy. You bring him back to his truth. And Spirit is confirming this isn't just love. This is sacred alignment, a soul connection that was always written. And now it's finally being remembered. So if you've ever felt like your person was too busy, too caught up in their world to recognize the truth of this connection, you weren't wrong. But Spirit wants you to know they see it now. They feel it now. And this clarity isn't just about love, it's about destiny. Something big is shifting in them, and you are right at the center of it. And the reason is simple. You're not just someone they love. You're the one they were sent to love. Next, we have here the Empress card. And wow, as soon as I pulled this card, I heard it so clearly in spirit. You are the blueprint. Divine Feminine, there is no card more aligned with that message than the Empress. She is creation. She is divine nurturing. She is the standard, the original design. And right now, that's how your person is seeing you. Not as an option, not as someone they're figuring out, but as the mold that no one else has ever lived up to. Your divine masculine is in a space right now where everything is starting to look different. The way they see relationships, the way they understand connection, the way they remember moments shared with you, it's all shifting. But what's so beautiful is that it's not just about looking at you with love. It's about looking at you through the eyes of Spirit. This masculine is finally seeing you the way the Spirit sees you. And that's saying everything. There's something about your heart, your presence, your light that has always stood out. But now that Spirit is peeling back the layers and showing your person what's underneath the surface. They're realizing you've always been the one, the sacred one, the real one. And it's not just that they see you as different. It's that they can't not see it now. Even if they tried to forget or compare, your energy would still come through louder, clearer, purer. What's wild is that they may not even know how to explain this. You might never hear the exact words. But the way they've always treated you differently, the way they held you to a standard they didn't hold anyone else to, that's because deep down, they knew. They knew there was something set apart about you, something they couldn't find anywhere else, no matter how hard they looked. And now that Spirit is shining a light on it, they're remembering all the moments where they saw goodness in you, when they felt safe, seen, and held in your energy without even realizing why. And this isn't just about romance. This masculine responds to you differently than they respond to anyone else in their life. Friends, family, past partners. No one else gets the same reaction. And it's not because you asked for it. It's because your energy demands it. Not from pride, but from divine design. That sacred Empress energy goes ahead of you. It shifts the air when you walk into a room. It reveals things without you saying a word. Spirit is also highlighting the balance in your presence. There's this unspoken harmony between the way you love and the way you lead, the way you soften and the way you stand firm. And that balance, that's what's been missing in their life. That's what makes you unforgettable. It's not just that you love them, it's how you love them. You make them feel like they're safe to be strong and vulnerable at the same time. And no one else has ever done that for them. And now that their eyes are open to this truth, it's starting to shift how they see everything else. People they once put on a pedestal don't hold the same weight. Patterns they used to repeat no longer make sense. And the things they used to chase, they feel small compared to the wholeness they feel when they think of you. It's like spirit is using your energy to recalibrate their entire heart, reminding them of what's real, what's pure, and what they've always been searching for, even when they didn't know it had a name. And now they do. It's you. So if you've ever felt like your person expects more from you than anyone else, they do. But not out of pressure. It's because their soul recognizes that you were always meant to hold a deeper space in their heart. Not just anyone could love them this way. Only you could, because you are the blueprint. And their spirit finally sees what their mind couldn't make sense of before. That you weren't meant to blend in. You were meant to be the one. The next card I just pulled is the Two of Swords. And the moment I saw this card, Spirit whispered, "It's not what you think." That's exactly the energy of the Two of Swords. At first glance, it looks like confusion, hesitation, silence. But beneath that stillness is something deeper, something strategic. And that's exactly what's happening with your divine masculine right now. If you've been feeling distance in your connection, a change in pace, or even complete silence, it's not because they're pulling away. It's because spirit is pulling them inward. This masculine is in the middle of a spiritual pause, and from the outside, it might look like avoidance, like they're stuck, like they don't know what they want. But the truth, this hermit energy is working on them in ways they never allowed before. They're starting to think differently, to feel differently, and to move differently. Because when spirit starts revealing divine truth, especially about someone as powerful as you, they can't just keep reacting the way they always have. They're learning that silence doesn't always mean indifference. Sometimes it's the sound of transformation. And what's really coming through here is contrast. Divine feminine, you and your person handle distance in completely different ways. When something feels off, you go within. You pull your energy back to protect your peace, to reflect, to realign. But your masculine, they used to reach outward, distract themselves, numb the tension with people, noise, validation, anything to avoid sitting with the discomfort. But this time, spirit didn't give them that option. They were placed in this quiet, and now they're seeing themselves clearly and seeing you even more clearly because of it. And the difference between your energy and everyone else's, it's starting to inspire them. They're realizing how many times you chose to stay centered even when things felt unclear. How you didn't chase. How you didn't fill your time with meaningless distractions. Instead, you stayed rooted in self-respect and spiritual clarity. And that right there, That's what's standing out to them most, because now they're asking themselves, why does she move like that? What does she know that I don't? And the answer is simple. You know yourself, you know your worth, and you've never let separation turn into self-abandonment. So if they've pulled back, it's not what it seems. They're not checking out, they're checking in. They're learning how to move with intention instead of impulse. And that takes time. They're sitting with every message Spirit is showing them about who they've been and who they want to become. And at the center of all those thoughts, you, the one who never reacted the way everyone else did, the one who responded with stillness, not scarcity. And now they're trying to meet you at that level, with a heart that's ready, not just available. Because here's the truth. Their silence right now isn't distance, it's strategy. They're planning something. They're trying to figure out how to show up in a way that finally reflects what they've always felt, but never knew how to express. And that's why this shift in energy isn't rejection, it's recognition. They're seeing you as the one who leads with the heart, the one who doesn't settle, the one who showed them what divine self-control actually looks like. And it's changing them in ways you can't yet see. But Spirit sees it all. Fourth card out is the Page of Swords. And wow. The moment I pulled this card, I felt their hesitation like a wave. Spirit whispered, I can't face you right now. And it's not because they don't want to. It's because they don't know how. The Page of Swords is that energy of deep observation, curiosity, and overthinking. It's someone who's watching, analyzing, learning, but holding back from making a move because they're afraid they're not ready. And that's exactly where your divine masculine is at in this moment. They've been comparing themselves to you, quietly, constantly, silently watching the way you move, how you carry your energy, how you stay grounded, how you lead with both strength and grace. And it's intimidating them in a way they never expected. This isn't just they're not sure how you'll react. This is them deeply questioning if they're enough to stand beside someone like you. They've never seen someone be so consistently aligned. And because of that, they're putting pressure on themselves to match your frequency. And here's where it gets heavy. They're not used to anyone holding this kind of power in their life. Divine feminine, you pull on something inside of them that no one else has ever touched. And that's confusing them. It's stirring things they don't have words for. It's making them realize that the way they've approached relationships before, it doesn't work with you. This isn't just another connection. This is sacred. And because of that, they're in their head, replaying old conversations, second-guessing every move, over-analyzing what you might be thinking, and all of that, it's slowing them down. But the slowness is not rejection, it's recalibration. They feel this pull to be precise with how they come toward you. And not because they're trying to impress you, but because they know who you are now. Spirit has revealed it. And now they're seeing this connection not just as romance, but as part of their next divine assignment. And that's why it's feeling so big, because it is. This is a masculine who is being very strategic behind the scenes, watching, planning, thinking about every word, every move, every moment that could either open the door to you or push you further away. That's how much weight they're placing on this. So if you felt like they've been distant, cold, or unclear, it's not emotional detachment. It's emotional preparation. They know they can't just come in and wing this. Not with someone like you. Not with someone who's been confirmed to them by the Spirit. And even though you may not see it yet, their silence is packed with movement. Internal movement. Spiritual movement. They're being taught things in this quiet season that are rewiring the way they show up in love. And it's making them want to meet you where you already are, not just emotionally, but energetically. So if they're not speaking, it's not because they don't care. It's because they care so much. They're afraid of doing it wrong. They're afraid of mishandling something that Spirit is making very clear is irreplaceable. And what's even more touching is how Spirit is showing them this contrast, not to shame them, but to grow them. They're starting to see how much of their life has been lived in survival mode, reaction mode, just doing what they've always done to get by. But now, that no longer feels good enough. Not when it comes to you. You've activated a higher standard in them, not through pressure, but through presence. They don't want to meet you halfway anymore. They want to meet you fully. And the only way they know how to do that is by stepping back to figure out who they really are and how they're going to show up when that door opens. And yes, they've had moments where they wanted to just reach out impulsively, to say something, to close the space. But every time they felt that urge, something in their spirit whispered, "Not yet." Not because it wasn't time to love you, but because it wasn't time to come in half prepared. This masculine wants to come in healed, not hiding, with clarity, not confusion. And the only way to get there is through the silence, through the stillness, through this sacred preparation season that's forcing them to grow into someone worthy of standing beside the kind of love you've always held for them. So yes, they're watching, yes, they're planning, and yes, they're hesitating. But not because they want to keep you waiting, it's because they want to come correct. And this hesitation, it's rooted in reverence for you, for the connection, and for the kind of love that only comes once in a lifetime. The next card I just pulled is the High Priestess. And wow, this couldn't be more aligned. The moment the High Priestess came out, Spirit whispered, "This is beyond what you can see." Divine Feminine, this card is you, the keeper of hidden truths, the one who walks between the seen and the unseen. You don't just feel energy, you are energy. And this is exactly why your masculine has been so triggered, so drawn in, and so confused all at once. Because what you carry can't be measured. It can only be revealed, and only by the both of you. And that's the part that's been so frustrating, isn't it? Not just for them, but for you too. Because you know you're different. You know they feel it. You know they treat you differently. But the way they handle it, the way they doubt you, or hold you at arm's length, or demand more from you than they've ever asked from anyone else, it's exhausting. You're not asking to be praised. You're asking to be seen. And yet, the very thing that makes you sacred is also the thing they struggle to understand. Because their old way of measuring people doesn't work with you. Your masculine has spent so long trying to validate what they feel in the 3D, trying to match your energy with something that makes logical sense. But Spirit is making it very clear now This connection was never meant to make sense by human standards. It was always meant to be felt spiritually first. That's why they couldn't compare you to anyone. That's why you always stood out, even when you were silent, because you weren't mirroring the noise of the world. You were embodying something deeper, something eternal, something that requires stillness to understand. And Divine Feminine, I feel your frustration here too, because you've felt this from the beginning. You've seen your masculine's potential. You've carried this connection when it was too heavy for both of you. And even when they went silent or ran or questioned your worth, you still chose to go inward. You chose growth. And that's why your spirit speaks louder than your words ever could. It's why they can't let go. Because your stillness is doing the work their distractions never could. This card is also confirming that your spiritual rank is unmatched. And it's not because you're perfect, it's because you're obedient. You listen to your soul. You move with faith. You surrender when it would be easier to fight. And now your masculine is starting to see what they couldn't see before. That the very thing they feared about your energy is the same thing that's drawing them home. You don't just feel different, you are different. And that difference, it's sacred. And Spirit is saying this loud. Only the divine can reveal a divine feminine to her counterpart. No amount of logic or chasing or testing could prove what your soul has already spoken. And now that your masculine is in this space, this still, sacred space, they're starting to receive those revelations. Not in flashes, but in waves, gentle, deep, and undeniable. So if they've seemed overwhelmed lately, if they've been pulling back or acting strangely, know this: they're trying to understand something that was never meant to be explained. It was meant to be felt. And you've always been felt, even when they couldn't admit it, even when they tried to replace it. You are their mirror, their awakening, and their home, because you don't reflect the world. They see you, and nothing in the 3D could ever compare to that. The final card we have here is the Lovers, and the second this card came out, it felt like a wave of surrender. Spirit whispered, "My heart chose you." And there it is, confirmation. The Lovers isn't just about attraction or connection. It's about choice, divine choice, soul deep alignment. This is your masculine's heart finally rising above all the noise, the logic, the fears, and choosing you, not because they're pressured, not because they're lonely, but because they finally feel the truth of this connection, where it was always meant to live, in their heart. There's been a shift, a deep sacred softening in your masculine's energy. Their heart chakra is fully awake now. No more avoiding, no more numbing, no more searching for clarity in places that were never meant to hold answers. This isn't just an emotional moment, it's a spiritual breakthrough. Because the heart always knows. And theirs has known since the very beginning that you were the one. They just couldn't access that knowing until now. And what's beautiful is how Spirit has allowed this to unfold, not through force, not through fear, but through divine timing. Your masculine had to walk a certain path before their heart could truly open. They had to meet the version of themselves who no longer chases illusions, who no longer runs from what's real, who no longer tries to fact-check what was never meant to be proven, only received. And now, they're finally receiving it. the clarity, the peace, the overwhelming realization that the connection they've been searching for has always been with you. And you might not have been in communication. You might not have seen evidence of this in the 3D. But Spirit is saying loud and clear, there is a spotlight on your energy right now. It's like everything else in their world is fading into the background. Nothing feels aligned unless it points back to you. Not because you're their fantasy, but because you're their truth. Their heart is rejecting anything that doesn't reflect the love they feel for you. They may not understand it yet. They may not have the words, but the pull is undeniable now, and it's getting stronger every day. And this time, it's different, not because they've changed overnight, but because something inside of them has awakened. This isn't about trying to win you over or prove themselves anymore. It's about showing up truthfully. Their heart is tired of pretending, tired of pushing down what it's always known. And what it's known is you. That you've always been the one soul that brought them back to themselves, even in the moments where they ran, even in the moments where they doubted. Your presence never left their heart. It just waited patiently for them to finally return home to it. And now that they're standing in this truth, everything they used to cling to is falling away. Old patterns, old fears, even old desires that once held so much power over them, they don't feel the same. Because when the heart opens, illusion dies. And this masculine is no longer interested in temporary distractions or surface-level love. They're craving something real, something eternal. And for the first time, they're not afraid to admit that it's you. You are the peace they couldn't find in the noise, the clarity they couldn't see through the fog. And now that they've felt that truth in their chest, they can't unfeel it. This is a reunion that's been written in spirit long before either of you understood it in the flesh. And now it's catching up in the 3D, slowly, quietly, but surely. So if you've been waiting, wondering, hoping, Spirit wants you to know this is not the end of the story. This is the moment the story begins to align. Because your masculine is no longer choosing from fear. They're choosing from the heart. And the heart has made its decision. It's you. Not just in theory, not just in fantasy, but in full, conscious, soul-level surrender. So if they've been quiet, know that they're not disconnected. They're getting ready to approach you in a way that matches what their heart has always known. And yes, it's taking time, because this masculine is not just planning a conversation. They're preparing for a reunion, one that aligns with the soul, one that mirrors what their heart is screaming. It's her. It's always been her. You are their choice, their clarity, their home. And now, they're ready to come toward you, not just as the person you remember, but as the person they were always meant to become. Okay, this feels like a beautiful place to close the reading. If this message resonated, be sure to hit the like button on your way out. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future readings. Thank you so much for bringing your beautiful energy into this space. We are also on Patreon. Let's continue this beautiful energy there. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll connect with you again in the next video. Have a peaceful and powerful rest of your day. Bye.